Hello, so welcome to this balanced class today. It's a flow and restore, and it's for the spring equinox. So props are always useful. If you don't have them, it's not the end of the world, but it's always good to have a couple of yoga bricks or books, soup cans, whatever you have access to. And also really good to have what we call a yoga bolster. So they're like this shape. You might have two pillows from your bed that you wrap tightly with a towel to make this kind of fat sausage shape. So whatever you have, we're going to start leaning back on it. So if you do have access to a bolster, it sort of saves a little bit of faffing around. Otherwise, you might just go and get a little pile of pillows now. What we're looking for is a heart opener. So you might support, ever so slightly elevate whatever it is. We're just looking to really open our chest. And then just come to lie back. So making sure that there's a little bit of a space of expansion around the chest, but not so much that it causes you any discomfort. So I have my legs crossed. You could do that. You can have your feet together, knees wide, or you might extend the legs away from you completely. And just take a moment to land. So pausing now, whatever you've been doing today, and just start to breathe a little bit more deeply than you have so far. Breathing in through the nose, and take a long sighing breath out as you completely relax and release the jaw. So I'm going to sit up to talk to you. You stay where you are. So the spring equinox is that time where there are equal amounts of daylight and darkness. The significance for the spring equinox is that the number of daylight hours start to outnumber the darkness. So we are stepping into the light. And there's a sense of rising energy, a sense of optimism as we see the flowers around us. You can't help now but notice the daffodils in bloom. But first of all, let's just honor the winter, a time of perhaps stagnation and rest. But without winter, we couldn't welcome in the spring. So just taking one hand to your tummy, just feel the belly rise as you inhale. As you exhale, soften beneath the hand. Inhale, feel the belly rise, expand. Exhale, soften. And perhaps blessing the winter for all that it brought us this year. And now let's take our other hand to our heart. And our heart in yogic philosophy is where our light is. So stepping into the light and just fill the heart with breath. And with one hand on our belly, one hand on our heart, these are our two wisdom centers when we switch the mind off. Our heart knows the way, our gut knows too. So can we try and move from here today in this practice? 3 more rounds of full deep breath, evening out your inhale with exhale. And now with the rising energy of the spring, we're going to mirror that in our breath now. So we can take the hands either side of you or rest them on you. Take a 3-part breath in. So breathing in 1/3 of your lung capacity. Pause. Breathe in a little bit more. Pause. And then breathe again, right to the top of the lungs. Take a long, full, slow breath out. And if it helps to visualize you're breathing in 1/3 up to the belly button. Pause. Second third up to the upper chest. Pause. All the way up to your collarbones. And a long exhale out. So feel that sense of rising energy, of expansion. Because that's what the spring equinox is bringing in. So do that for about 2 to 3 more rounds. Now let's remove the bolster for now. We'll be using it later, so we can just take it away from you. but stay lying on your back. So in order to make way for the new, we have to release what is stagnant and old. And in yoga, the anatomy, the poses we use for this are twists. So firing up our belly now, this area in the body of action, Manipura chakra. Let's bring our knees in towards our chest and take your arms wide out to the side with the palms down. So they're almost like little breaks. Inhale, feel the belly. Exhale, bring your knees over to the right, but don't let them hover. Breathe in there. Exhale, bring your knees back to center. Breathe in at center. Exhale, bring the knees over to the left. Let them hover. Breathe in there. And bring them back to center. If your back doesn't like this, take your toes to the earth. Otherwise, take this nice slow pace, building strength in our core. So we breathe in at the end and we exhale on the movement. We breathe in at the top. And we exhale on the movement. So twists are all about releasing anything that's stagnant, as well as, of course, releasing our spine. So next time the knees come to the right, let them land on the ground now along with your feet. Take your right hand to your thigh and your left hand to your rib cage. And feel like you're pulling your left hand to the left and your right to the right, almost like you're separating. And then look over your left shoulder as you take 3 deep breaths beneath your left hand. And let that breath out be symbolic of anything that's no longer serving you. We have to clear space for what it is that we want. Maybe there's a negative pattern that you have, a way that you talk to yourself. Breathe it all away. And then slowly lift the knees up. Slowly bring them to the left. Let the left hand rest on top of that right thigh. Right hand to your ribs. And feel like you're pulling the rib cage in 2 separate ways just to help facilitate the twist. Look over your right shoulder and take 3 deep breaths into your right hand this time. So giving blessings to all the lessons, all the learnings, and deciding which ones we can release now. One more. And come back to center. So let's stretch the belly now, this center of power in yogic philosophy, pressing your hands down and your feet down. Slowly breathe in as you peel up the hips, the hip points. And as you exhale, gently bring the spine down again, vertebrae by vertebrae. Maybe adding the arms for a side stretch. Inhale to rise. Exhale to come down. And if your back's tender, stay with these fluid bridges. Otherwise, this time, let's stay up. So as we lift the arms, spread your hands like those branches. Feel the buds at the fingertips and breathe into this expansive shape. And slowly come back down again. And bring the knees in towards your chest and just gently rock from side to side. And see if you can move your head the opposite way to the knees, if that's just not too confusing. So we're going to fire up the belly just a little bit more now. Take the shins so they're parallel with the earth and interlace the palms behind you. As you inhale, fill the belly with breath. Exhale, pull the tummy and press the lower back into the ground to bring your right elbow towards your left knee. Inhale, come back. Left elbow to left knee. And if you want to make it a little harder, you can extend the opposite leg out long. So right leg long as you twist to the left leg long as you twist to the right. Go slowly. We're building up strength and power. Notice your thoughts. Often we can be really negative about core work. And then from there, just bring those knees in towards your chest again, easing the lower back as you move the knees side to side. Hold on to the back of the knees and let's roll up to a seat. So we're coming up onto our toes, back onto shoulders, up onto toes, and back onto shoulders. And maybe this time, again, a little fire in the belly as we stay up. So hold on to the back of the knees, have the toes pointing forward. Maybe you release the arms. Spread your fingers and take a full deep breath. And then let's crisscross the shins as we come on to all fours. So we're working with our body, but all the time we're planting seeds in the mind. So just notice the seeds of thoughts that you plant. Are you being positive today or negative towards yourself? Just noticing. As we come onto hands and knees now, let's do little circles. You might sit all the way back onto the heels and over the shoulders. And then you might go the opposite way. So just easing into the body. The body always knows how it needs to move. We just don't always listen to it. And let's come back to all fours. So a lot of twists and side stretches today. As you breathe in, take that right leg behind you off the earth and press away into the foot as you gaze forward. And then look over your left shoulder as you bring the leg to the left and then sweep it out towards the right. And do that a couple more times. Exhale to the left, look over the left shoulder. Inhale, sweep it to the right. And this time, keep it to the left and drop the foot down. And as you look over your shoulder to the left foot, breathe consciously into your right rib cage. So creating space for new things, creating space in our body. And now we're going to turn the foot the opposite way as we come into a side stretch. So balancing on your left arm, sweep the right arm up towards the sky. And take a full circle as the right arm circles around. And life, of course, is in circles and cycles, just like nature. So we're coming around again. Cyclical nature of spring. Next time that right arm is up towards the sky, you might lift up your right leg too and kick away into the heel, breathing in. An option to stay there or hold on to your ankle. And as the ankle presses into the foot, the heart rises. Breathe into that blossoming heart. One more breath. And slowly we come all the way back down. And take a moment to land now as we take more linear movements of cat and cow. As you inhale, heart rises. Exhale, tuck the chin and round. Inhale, heart rises. Feel it open and bloom. Exhale, we round. One more time. So keeping the tummy pulled in for support, take the left leg back now and spread the toes. And again, first we bring it to the right. Then we bring it as wide as we can out to the left. And do that 2 more times, nice and slow to build up strength. And the next time that left foot comes to the right, drop it down, look over your right shoulder now and just consciously breathe into the left lung. And then we're flipping to the side. So coming into a side stretch, the left foot is flat initially, right hand under face, breathing in as the left arm rises. Pause there. Taking the arm around you. So circling in, just like the circles and cycles in nature. Circling and cycling the shoulder. And next time that left arm is lifted again, we might look up to it, feeling very steady. We might lift up the left leg, kick away into the heel. Final option to hold the foot. No good or bad choice, just yours. Breathing into the heart. And the heart, of course, is where our light always is, even if sometimes it feels a little bit dimmed. And release. And let's come all the way back down onto all fours. And your options are to stay on all fours or to come into downward facing dog. Spread the hands, ease into the feet, lifting up your right heel, press the left down. Lift up the left heel, press the right heel down. And you might turn this into a sway, anything that feels good. And I don't know if you can hear, but when I'm recording here, it's absolutely pouring with rain. It doesn't feel very spring-like at the moment. Let's lengthen our arms now as we lift our sit bones up. Give your head a bit of a shake. And let's just walk towards the front of the mat on your tiptoes if you can today, just building a little bit of awareness into the feet and then root those heels down as you get to the top of the mat. With a little bend in the knees, breathe into a flat back. Breathe out as you fold. And do that 2 more times. Focus your awareness on the top of the inhale, that rising energy. And this time, as the sun is shining, let's sweep those arms all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. And let's just take a mudra now, the mudra of a new beginning, which is the lotus. So the thumbs are touching, little fingers are touching. Hold this symbol of a new beginning at your heart. And there is a lovely quote, no mud, no lotus. So sometimes the dark stagnation is what gives rise to this beautiful flower. So let's just pause there, contemplating any new beginning that's ahead for you. And then seal that into the hands. Now as we come to prayer pose, Anjali Mudra, let's come into a sun salutation. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, we fold. Step back with the left leg and drop the left knee. Inhale, rise the arms to the sky. Spread your fingers like little buds. Exhale, hands come down. Downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, now breathe forward to a plank pose. Lower your body to the earth. Knees up or down. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale to fold. Soft bend in the knees. Come back to downward facing dog. Take one full breath in downward facing dog. Exhale, release everything. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left foot comes between the hands. Drop the right knee down. Breathe in, rising up. Spread the fingers. Exhale, fingers down. Right foot steps in to meet the left. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rising up. We're going to repeat that now. There's an option not to drop the back knee. Exhale, straight to the fold. Inhale, flat back. This time, step back with the right leg, and maybe you don't drop the right knee. Breathing into a high lunge. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Option to stay in dog or flow through. Breathe your way forward to a plank pose. Lower the body to the earth. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full spacious breath into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, right foot comes between the hands. Root down into the heel to rise up into the lunge. Exhale, fingers down, left foot comes in. Breathe into a flat back. Breathing out to fold. Little bend in the knees. Sweep your arms all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. And once again, open the palms up into Lotus Mudra. 2 full breaths with your eyes closed, focusing awareness into the heart space. And pause. So let's add a bit of balance and twisting now. So as we press the weight into our right leg, let's breathe and lift up that left knee. Pause there initially. Maybe your arms lift up. Take one deep breath. This is really building up core. And now as you exhale, take the right hand to the left knee and left hand behind you. And see if we can come up again as we inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, try twisting again. Know that this might knock you off balance. Inhale, rise up. This time, let's hold the twist. As the right hand comes there, reach back. You might even look at your left thumb. See if you can do all of this without planting horrible negative seeds in your mind. Inhale, arms rise up. Let's take the hands to prayer and come into a balance of warrior 3. You can always drop fingers to floor. Kick back into the heel, gaze forward. And drop the left heel down. Well done. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands to prayer. So we're coming into a twist again, but we're coming in and out. So inhale, grow tall. Exhale, left elbow taps right thigh. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, elbow to thigh. Inhale, back to center. This time, elbow stays there, and you might drop the left knee or stay up. Left hand presses into the right. Look over your right shoulder. Take 3 deep breaths. So twists are about releasing everything. Let it all go that doesn't serve us. One more breath. And then watch the choreography now. We're going to come back to center and then immediately turn into a 5-pointed star shape. So facing a long ways onto the mat, spread the fingers wide, take a deep breath and come to a forward fold. Head is heavy, feet are planted onto the earth and just give the head a little shake. 1 full breath there. And then walk towards your right foot. So we're going to see how it feels. Knee bent, bend the right knee. You might lift the right heel and come a little deeper down towards the ground. A pose called Skandasana. So make sure it serves your hips. Take a deep breath. And come back to the forward fold. Let's bend the left knee now. So we either stay with our bum up or we bring it all the way down to the ground if that serves our hips. Breathing in. And come back to center and pause as you shake the head out. And taking your hands to your hips now, very slowly, start to come up. Pause at the top. Let everything settle. And let's come back into warrior two. So that right knee is bent, the feet are facing forward. And we're going to take our arms out and then take the right arm to the sky and take it to the nape of the neck. Left hand comes to the elbow and lift your right elbow up. Now notice what your spine's doing to compensate. When our shoulders are tight, we often stick our belly out. So pull everything in and then just lean back a little bit. Breathing in and breathing out. So you can either stay here or your left fingertips might come round to grab onto the right fingertips, if that's good for your shoulders. So take 2 deep breaths. And if that doesn't feel good, then release and soften a little bit. And come all the way up and then unravel the arms again with the palms down. Take 1 deep breath. And then circle that left arm forward as you come through your vinyasa. So up to dog, you might stay there. You might come forward to a plank pose. Lower the body down, curling up. Back to downward facing dog. Nice steady pace. We've got nowhere to rush to. Take a full breath. Just like nature, everything gets accomplished. We don't have to hurry. That's a famous quote from Lao Tzu. So gaze forward, bend the knees, and let's do a little hop or step towards the front of the mat, coming up halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale all the way up to stand. Hands to prayer. And again, open up the lotus, the mudra, open the hands, just breathing into this new beginning, this new potential of what lies ahead. And now let's put the weight into our left foot as we lift up the right knee. So we're fatiguing these muscles a little bit, so it is hard. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, left hand to knee, right arm behind. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, left hand to knee, right arm behind. Final time, inhale, arms rise up. And this time we stay in the twist. So possibly looking at the right thumb. Feel the breath. Just releasing, releasing. Hands rise up. Once again, hands to prayer as we come into warrior three. Kick back into that right heel as you make your spine long and breathe. And let's drop those toes down. Inhale, arms rise up. So we're coming into the twist again, hands to prayer. Exhale, right elbow taps left thigh. Inhale, you come back up. 2 more. Be really firm in your feet, your roots, to hold you up. And then we stay in the twist. So this right elbow is like a little lever that helps you press against the thigh to help you twist. Look over your left shoulder, soften your face, soften the jaw, feeling the breath. And let's come into a wide open posture, a power pose. Spread the hands, spread the feet, breathe into your heart. And slowly again, let's come back to fold. Shake out the head, keeping the chin tucked, feel the breath. And same thing, we either stay still if we want to be still, or we walk towards the left foot and we bend the left knee, lifting up the right heel, really breathing as we get into a deeper stretch for the hips. Slowly come back and come to the right. So we can be quite high off the floor or quite low. So just explore this a little bit more as you move from side to side. And come back to center. Pause there, breathe into the whole body. And slowly again, let's come up. Pausing at the top. Feel your feet on the earth, and let's come into warrior two. So we're turning the left foot forward, right heel slightly back. And once again, we unravel the arms. So this time the left arm comes up and settles in the back of the neck, and then draw your lower belly in as you take the right hand to the elbow and lift it up. So breathing into the tricep. And then maybe you lean back. So again, your fingers might be touching. You'll probably find it really different one side compared to the other. Keep breathing. One more full deep breath to where the fingers are touching or where they would touch. And unravel and reach forward. What are you reaching for this spring? Lengthen that right leg and foot, hand behind you. That's all that is gone. One more deep breath. Circle that right arm forward. Let's come through another flow. So back to dog, maybe resting, maybe plank, lowering and lifting. And we are going to come into a very restorative part soon. So back into downward facing dog. Feel the breath in your body. Sigh everything out. And lift up the heels, look forward. Once again, let's step or hop to the front of the mat. Breathe into a flat back. Breathe out to fold. Soft bend in the knees. Sweep your arms up and overhead. And take the hands to prayer. So last short sequence, this is more challenging. And we're going to begin by coming into chair pose. So with the feet, either big toes touching or feet hip width apart, sink down into an imaginary chair. Pause there. Lift up your left heel. And then really slowly lift up the left toes and come back to that knee lift. Slowly exhale as you come back down again. Try that 2 more times. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, coming back to chair. So we're building a lot of strength in that outer right hip now. Final time. And this time as we lift the knee, can we straighten the leg in front of us? One breath only. And gently lift it up. Slowly bring it down. Back into chair pose now as we take a twist. Left elbow comes across. Sink deep. So this is challenging. Can you lift up your left heel again? And see if you can step back to that twisted lunge. And it will make you wobble. So we're stepping back with the left leg. Really good. And then breathe in as you look over your right shoulder. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, back, warrior 2. So second visit to warrior 2. Take a moment to really land. This time we're interlacing the palms behind you. As you press the thumbs away from you, lift the heart, lift the chest, take a deep breath in. And then come to fold. So crown of the head towards the right instep. Make sure you dial that right hip back and take a deep breath. Inhale to rise. And take this little fist that you've made now to the left waist. So as you punch your fist forward, take the elbow back and just drop your left ear. So breathing into the right side of the neck. Soften shoulders, soften face. One more breath. And then sweep it up. And then straighten your right leg. We're going to take triangle and twisted triangle. So a slightly shorter stance. Bring the arms out really wide. Take your left hip back and lean your body forward. And then take right hand somewhere on the right leg. It can be your foot, but make sure your heart isn't facing the floor. So heart comes towards the sky, reaching into your left fingers, root down into your feet, and really focus your awareness and attention on breathing into the heart space. And initially the breath is kind of struggling to reassert itself, and then we start to find it again and deepen it. One more breath. Slowly we lift up. And now we're going to take that to a twisted triangle. So holding onto the hips, slightly hop your left foot to the left. And generally it's quite nice to use a brick for this, which will be on the little toe side of your right foot. So with your hips, adjust them so the hip points are facing forward. Feel your feet and from there lengthen the spine. As you exhale, come down halfway. And from there, take the left hand to the outside edge of the right foot if you can, and the right hand onto your lower back, and pull your tummy in as you turn to the right. So take a moment to stabilize your pelvis with that right hand, and if you're ready, you might lift the right arm up. Keep breathing. This is a strong pose. 2 more full breaths, expanding from the belly outwards. And bring that right hand down really slowly. Let's lift our way up to stand. Inhale, arms rise up. Option for another vinyasa. So hands down, downward facing dog. If you prefer not to, then you take rest. So we're still at the midway point between winter and spring. So it's okay to need that calming energy. So in your downward facing dog, take a full breath. And when you're ready, walking the feet towards the hands. And just pause for a moment in that forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale to fold. And with a little bend in the knees, breathe your way up to stand. And for the final time, take the mudra of the lotus, the thumbs touching the little finger. And just take a moment to land. So we're going to do that sequence on the other side and then really start to slow it down. So again, we're beginning in chair pose. We're sinking our body down. Feel your heels, feel your toes. Lift up the right heel, then the right toes, and slowly come into a knee lift. Exhale, gently come back into chair pose. Inhale, lift the knee, lift the foot. Slowly come back into chair pose. This time we straighten the right leg if we can. Real fire in the belly now. Exhale, we bring it back down. And then we take a twist. So we take the right elbow outside the left thigh. Look over that left shoulder and breathe. And then maybe lift the right heel up. How does it feel to step back into that twist? And it's not easy. Take 2 deep breaths. Slowly come up. And once again, let's come into warrior 2. And take a moment to land. Interlace the palms behind you again and roll the shoulders back as you lift the heart and chest. Exhale, come to fold. Crown of the head towards that left foot as you swing your left foot back, hip back. 2 deep breaths. And rest is coming. Press down into the feet as you rise up. And take that little fist to the right waist. Drop your right ear down, breathing into the left side of the neck. And just take a moment to land in your feet, especially if the mind has gone spinning. And slowly lift up. So again, we're just slightly going to shorten our stance. The right foot hops in a little bit as we take triangle, a fabulous pose for our back. So arms are wide. Let's lengthen the spine as we lean forward and then take the fingertips down. And roll the shoulders back as you reach up into your right fingertips and breathe. Two more breaths from the belly. Slowly come up. Pause at the top, let the hands drop. Feel the settling down after that pose. And then hop your right foot a little bit more to the right. So again, if you have a prop, it's probably on the little toe side of the left foot. Breathe in, lift your right arm up. And as you exhale, take it down to the brick or to the ground. Left hand on the lower back as you turn towards the left. And maybe you float the left arm up. Breathing in and breathing out. And slowly, slowly lift up. Inhale, arms rise up. So we're all going to meet in child's pose. You might go straight there, or you might wish to do one final flow. So let your body decide, not the mind. And then let's come into child's pose. And sit back onto your heels. You might make a little pillow with your hands, or you might put a brick beneath your forehead. So this is the restore part now. We're really slowing down. And child's pose is almost like a little seed. So just noticing again what seeds you are currently planting. And there's a quote from Osho. Where is it? Your mind is the garden, your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. So noticing where the thoughts take you. Are they focusing on what you don't want or what you do? And can you step back for them as you connect to your breath? And let every breath out be longer than your inhale now. Allow this to be a pose that invites you to ground and to soften and to settle. And just planting positive seeds for the season that lies ahead. And on a similar vein, the Buddhist teacher Jack Cornfield says the heart is like a garden. It can grow compassion or fear, resentment or love. What seeds will you plant there? 2 more deep breaths. And then after the calves, the compression of the calves that we're doing in child's pose, we're now going to come into Sphinx pose. So gently coming up and come onto your tummies. So this pose we are going to do for 2 minutes. Let me just check my timer. So a really good back bend to strengthen the back. The elbows are under your shoulders. Feel like you're sliding your heart between the armpits. Take the feet wide as much as possible now. We're trying to be still. If you'd like a slightly stronger back bend, you might take your forearms onto some bricks. Then close your eyes. We're here for 2 minutes. So even though your eyes are closed, take your inner gaze to the tip of the nose. And just feel that rising energy into the heart with every inhale. And as you breathe out, visualize breathing away any stagnation left over from the winter. Breathing in the new. Releasing the old. And try not to overgrip the buttocks. Try to switch the muscles off as much as you can now as we're accessing what we call the connective tissue. And then just noticing the breath, the thoughts. Are they flowers or weeds? And if at any time this back bend feels too strong, you just come to lie on your tummy. Otherwise, we're here for about another 4 to 5 long, full, deep, spacious breaths. Cleansing, clearing you out for whatever lies ahead. And now take 3 more deep breaths. Let them get longer and more full. And finish with a relaxing, releasing, sighing breath out. And we're just going to come to half frog now. So as we come down, I'm not going to lie down towards my microphone. Just take your arms into a cactus shape. Take your left ear to the earth. And then bring your right knee in front of you. So it's like that recovery position. And just soften around the right glute and hip area. And just take about 5 full deep breaths there. And notice any gripping or hardening around the hip. And you completely soften now. And then slowly extend your right leg away from you. Just wiggle out your hips a little bit. And let's do that on the other side. So the right ear comes down, the left knee is bent in line with the hip. And you rest. And just take a moment to land and rest on the earth, receiving that support from the earth beneath you. And sometimes we forget there is support there for us. So breathing into, allow yourself to be held. Three more deep breaths. Extend that left leg behind you now. Wiggle out your hips. Then take the hands either side of your heart as you slowly, slowly, slowly lift yourself up and come to a seat. And our forward fold is 2 options. It really depends on your hips. So we're going to start with our right shin in front of the left shin, flexing the feet. So this is called Sukhasana, I think. Forgotten. Otherwise, we're going to stack the right leg on top of your left leg. So see what your hips are like. So shin in front or shin on top. And then take the flesh of your sit bones back. So from here, we're coming into a forward fold. A forward fold is merely tucking the chin. So it doesn't have to be a deep forward fold. So tuck in your chin initially, take a breath in. And in total, we're here for a minute. You might start to hinge from the hips now as you come forward. And if there is something you can put your forehead onto, it's a nice symbolic gesture of letting go of all thoughts. So pressing your forehead into a brick or maybe a yoga bolster if you need something higher up. And we're here for 1 minute. So focus now on deeply, deeply breathing. And there's a little poem from John O'Donoghue. This is the ending of it. The beauty of nature insists on taking its time. Everything is prepared. Nothing is rushed. The rhythm of emergence is a gradual slow beat, always inching its way forward. Change remains faithful to itself until the new unfolds in the full confidence of true arrival. Because nothing is abrupt, the beginning of spring nearly always catches us unawares. It is there before we see it, and then we can look nowhere without seeing it. So honouring and blessing these new beginnings, keep breathing. And then very slowly pull your tummy in as you slowly elongate your spine up. Pause there. And then let's just take circles. So circling one way, really big circles, just to ease out the lower back. And then change the direction of your circles. Feel the side ribs, the neck, let everything get involved. And circle inwards now until you get to what you consider to be your center. So we're kind of spiraling into stillness. And as you get to stillness, take the palms up, this gesture of openness and receptivity, and elongate the spine and take 3 deep breaths into your side ribs. And then lean back as you recross the legs. So this time it might be your left shin that is in front. It might be the left shin that stacks on top of the right leg. And again, there might be something for your forehead, a bolster upright or a brick if you have more kind of bend. So breathe in as you grow tall. And then lengthen from the waist as you come to your forward fold. And just lightly press your forehead into whatever support is there. And come back to simply observing your breath and witnessing thoughts rather than being the main actor in the play. Deep, full deep breaths all the way down to your lower back. Every exhale, an invitation to soften and release. Take 3 more deep breaths. Finish with a sigh. And again, slowly, slowly come up. Take your hands to your knees and go the way, circling again, go the way that isn't instinctive. So go the opposite way to what you feel natural. Start with really big circles. Again, you might be involving the neck, the head. It's like the circles of nature. Take circles in the body, the cycles. And then change the direction of your circles. And they can be little, they can be small, but we're gradually spiraling inwards into stillness. And again, as you come to stillness, can you turn your palms up? What are you open to receiving? Can we let go of everything we want and expect and be open to what is going to be delivered? And trusting that plan of the universe, breathing in. And life's a lot more fun when you get out of the driving seat and learn how to trust spirit, universe. So hard to do sometimes. One more breath. So let's come on to our back, and this is where we're going to need our cushions because we're going to come into our final two shapes. So we're going to start with our cushion, bolster, whatever we have next to our left hip. So we're not going to use it for the first minute. So the bolster's by our left hip. We're lying on our back, and we're going to come into tree pose, but it's called fallen tree. So to begin with, take your right foot out to the side and your right shoulder in line with the right foot. And then start to bring the left foot beside it. So we've got a really big curve on the left side. Take your arms overhead, hold on to the left wrist, and you're leaning to the right. So you might know this pose as banana pose. This is the first option. Second option is we take the right foot to the inner thigh, and we come into what we call fallen tree. So tree is obviously very symbolic at this time of year as they come into bloom. So leaning to the right, just feel that big open space that you're creating on the left. Make sure your neck's soft, your shoulders to hips are relaxed. And visualize each breath filling the left side of your body. We have one more minute here. So in order to bring in the new opportunities, new adventures, we have to clear space and let go of what's not working for us anymore. So just visualize you're clearing space into that left side. Let each breath get longer and deeper now. And now really take your time. We're not rushing now. We're slowly wiggling back to center. And we're just going to hug that right knee in towards you. And as you hold on to the shin or the back of the knee, just move the leg side to side a little bit. So this pose is called apanasana, which means wind relieving pose. So you can work that one out for yourself, why that might be the case. So twists are really good for our digestive organs. So we're going to bring that right leg all the way across to the bolster now. So we're coming into a twist. And you might keep your left leg long, or maybe it's more comfortable to bend both. So just feel supported. Lift your upper body so your right shoulder is rested, and then take your right arm away from you. You might look towards the right thumb. And again, we're here for 1 minute, twisting. Breathing in. When we twist, we breathe into the side body. Every breath out is an invitation to soften and release something. Just as we are invited to do at the end of winter. Notice your mind again. Is it on flowers? Is it planting weeds? Just notice. Really slowly come back. And just take a moment there to land, to reset. Wiggle your hips back to center. Just rest. And then in preparation for the second side, let's just move the bolster towards the right. But initially, what we'll be doing is taking that fallen tree. So we move our left shoulder to the left foot in line with the left shoulder. This time we hold the right wrist. So we're creating a big space on the right side. So we might stack the right ankle over the left, or we might lift the left knee up as we come into fallen tree. And again, breathe. So staying where you are, again, I'm going to come up to read you a quote. And this is a quote from William Sieghart. Our minds are amazing, quick blooming things. We have the ability, if we believe it enough, to give ourselves a push. that will eventually spill out of any period of stagnation, grief, or depression. One day we may notice the tiniest of buds at the tip of one of our frost-bitten branches. Before we know, it will be green and vibrant once more. So if you're not feeling that spring energy and still feeling a little bit lost and sad again, can we trust those tiny buds will bloom again in just a few more breaths? And sometimes that's planting seeds, just like gardeners do. It's a leap of faith that they will land, they will come to fruition, even if it doesn't always feel like it at the time. Just a few more breaths. And then wiggle your way back to center. So we're finishing with a twist on the other side. So I've removed my bolster because it blocks the camera, but imagine it's there. So we're lifting in that left shin. We're moving it side to side. Apanasana. So this is our descending colon here. And then we bring it all the way across the body. So again, you might have both knees bent. You might have one. Can you get your left shoulder down? And this is our final twist, our final releasing twist. So looking towards the left fingers. Stay with that fullness of breath for this final minute. And the trees, of course, we just did a tree. They remind us every year that we can begin again. And take 3 more full deep breaths. Sigh the breath away. Everything is released. And then let's come onto our back for the final shape. So the final shape, as you're all familiar with, is Shavasana now. So that might be lying on your back. It might be something under your knees. And Shavasana, of course, is the ultimate symbol of rebirth, because Shavasana means corpse pose. So the idea that everything dies in order to be reborn again. So just like the spring, we're welcoming our new selves as we emerge from the winter. So softening, settling, and coming back to the breath now with no structure. Just breathe in through your nose. Pause at the top of your breath and breathe out. Breathing in through the nose. And as you breathe out, just fully empty the lungs. Often we hoard the end of the breath. And just take these last minute or so just to allow everything to stop and to settle before we begin again. Breathing in as if your whole body breathes in. And start to make your breath a little deeper. And the beauty of an online recording is, of course, you can stay here as long as you need to. or honouring your new rebirth, this little mini rebirth, you might just reach into your fingertips overhead, extending those branches. You might just decide to curl up to a little ball. And take a moment to lie on your side, breathing into your whole body. And very slowly, let's lift up to a seat. And may this spring, this season of renewal, bring you all the good things as we take our hands to our hearts. Let's finish with that lotus mudra again. Thumb and little finger touching. Holding this mudra to your heart, take 3 deep breaths. Then close the prayer, fingertips touching now. Namaste. Happy spring equinox.